Okay, we are back with our live coverage of Future Proof with a really awesome guest, Alanah Phillips, who is known as the industry troublemaker, but also, and why she's here today, author of the new book. Let's see the book, Breaking Up with Your Broker-Dealer.
Very important.
I cannot imagine a better book to talk about on goRIA. When I saw that you came up with that book, and I know we've had a relationship for a couple of years now, I saw the book, I knew you were at Future Proof, I was like, we have to make this happen. So thanks for taking some time to join us.
Thank you for letting me talk about my favorite topic. The book launch is my whole personality right now too, so I'm so glad to talk about it.
Can't wait. So let's dive into it. And we were talking a bit offline. And I love analogies, and I think your 3-marriage analogy, which I believe is in the book,
Yes, it
has
is.
got to be one of my favorite analogies about goRIA
Yeah.
that I've ever heard.
I
Tell
love
us
it.
about
Yes,
it.
it's a silly thing, and it had started with the concept of the breakup, right? So there's signs that you should break up with someone, right? They don't celebrate you, they control your time, they control your money. These are real reasons you should break up with a person, but they were signs I was seeing from advisors that they should break up with their firms, right? As the analogy sort of got legs and has grown over the years, the idea that the breakup is also potentially a divorce, right? Your first marriage is sort of a naive love.
It's not me, it's you. Or
Yes.
It's not you, it's me. Or
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we do say that sometimes. The first marriage, you started a firm, Edward Jones or a wirehouse, and you're in love with this new firm and you're excited about your career, and that marriage can last forever sometimes, but I think for the advisors we work with, right, they realize that they grow apart from that firm, they're not growing in the same way together, and that's when they have their second marriage. And the second marriage is for money. And they go and they get a big check from a firm, and they're happy there, honestly, right? They're independent now, and they've got the money.
I could learn to love you.
Absolutely, right? When there's money, it's going to be fine. It solves lots of problems. So the second marriage, though, they realize a few years into that, and again, sometimes maybe they stay at that firm too, but the second marriage, they realize, actually, I really do want a partner, and I want a firm that has specialized resources for me, and I want somebody who knows who I am. I don't want to be at a huge firm. I'd rather be somewhere smaller and more niche for me, a partner that's going to help me grow. Then they have their third marriage, and this time they marry again for love.
Love it. I absolutely love that. So we kind of talk about that a lot on goRIA, and I think we're going to see more and more and more of this. I've been calling it the breakaway movement,
Yeah.
right? And I think it's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So you go from that first marriage to the second one, maybe a big firm, could be a big wirehouse,
Yep.
could be a big RIA
Yep.
that you broke away to.
Yep.
Maybe you took a check, and now you're like, you know what? That money's gone,
Yep.
and maybe so is the love. Maybe I want to find my third and hopefully final marriage. Is that kind of the point?
I think so, yeah. And again, I think we watch as we see advisors' careers, that's usually what we see, right? Again, they're at a captive firm, they go somewhere that's maybe a bigger firm that they can plug into, so plug and play kind of options, and then they realize, I want control, I want specialized resources, and that third move happens.
That makes a ton of sense. So our audience is all about learning how to goRIA. Your
Yes.
book seems like it's a roadmap to that. What other pearls of wisdom can you share with us?
Yes, I think a few of the things in the beginning of the book, after we talk about the signs that it's time to break up and you see all my hilarious doodles, is advisors, when they go through this due diligence process to figure out when, where, and how they should break up, it's important that they have an education of the landscape of the industry, because I do see a lot of advisors that maybe they have a friend that goes somewhere, or they heard that a firm was good and so then they go explore it, but it's not actually aligned with their risk tolerance and risk capacity. And so I think for most advisors I work with, we talk about it in this way too, because you're an advisor, you understand this, like the efficient frontier, there's a place for everyone on here, right? And some investors have higher risk tolerance and some have lower risk tolerance, and the amount of reward that we get for that, we would like it to be somewhere on that line. Advisors have to do this too with their firms, and I think it's also something you have to revisit all the time. Am I being appropriately compensated for the risk that I'm taking on? And advisors, I think, forget to do that piece of things in the process. The second thing I would say we talk about in the book is there's 3 things you need to make sure are fit when you're moving.
Okay.
And it is business structure fit, financial fit, and vibes fit.
Okay, sounds good. Give us a little bit of a deep dive into each one of those 3. Just kind of a
Yes.
cursory deep dive.
Yes, and they have to all 3 be checked boxes. The business structure fit is really that you can do business the way that you want to, right? You're going to have access to, if you want alts, that you've got alts, you have the technology that you need, you can team how you would like, you can brand how you would like. All of those things have to be in place in order for it to be a business structure fit. To be a financial fit, the money has to make sense. So even if it's not our second marriage, which is always for money, the money still has to, the math has to math.
So you're talking about like the payout structures, the platform fees.
Exactly right, Chuck. Yep.
Let's pause on this for just a minute.
Yeah.
Because I am really tired of hearing some of these firms that have really high platform fees say that platform fees don't matter. Do platform fees matter?
I think that platform fees matter. There's the price is only an issue in the absence of value, I think is
without question
the phrase. So if you are receiving value in return for the price of that platform, I think that's great. But the math has to math for an advisor.
That's right.
So if it's not them getting more for their clients and costing them less, like it just has to make sense. So there's not one right pricing structure. The math just has to math.
Yeah, I want to come back to that in just a minute. What were the other ones?
The last one is Vibes Fit. So this is the most fun one and the squishiest one. And it's hilarious, Chuck, because I do see this one be the one that advisors can't figure out. 1 and 2 can be checked, and then 3, they're describing it to me and they don't know what it is, but they just don't like something about a firm.
Sure.
And it's that intangible, the culture, the emotion, the feeling that you have when you are meeting, doing home office visits or talking to the firm owners like yourself, that it just doesn't feel right, right? And then there's times where the fit is just so easy. I think about, you're gonna have Shannon Spotswood on next, right?
Yes.
People meet Shannon and they just love Shannon and they're so excited to be with her, and that vibe box is checked so easily, right? So that has to, all 3 have to be checked. The vibe is the squishiest one for advisors to figure out, but there are some helpful hits in the book of how to figure out if the vibes are a fit.
Awesome. So let's go back to that second one for just a moment, because we talk a lot about true net payout.
Yes.
And without question, the article that I've written for InvestmentNews that has gotten the most hits was that one article.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, true net payout.
Yep.
And the way I like to define true net payout is what are the total costs absorbed by your client and what ends up in your bank account, right? So it's not just your payout.
Yes.
Let me ask you this, just kind of an easy yes or no question. Do you know of any advisor that's really getting a true net payout of 92%?
No.
Of course not.
Absolutely not. Even the advisors who are RIA owners who are getting 100%.
It's not 92.
Not.
It's never 92. It's impossible.
Yes.
Right? So you have to add in the platform fees, you have to add in the payout, you have to add in the E&O, all the things that you're paying for. Some of the things I love to highlight that I wonder if this is in your book, is this is something that I think is really worth talking about. It's a pet peeve of mine. It's the non-transaction free platforms.
Oh gosh, yes.
So here are all the things you can do.
There's all those secret little fees.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's such a hidden fee that no one thinks about.
Yes.
So what funds will you not see on that platform? Vanguard, right? All the low-cost ones that you really probably want if you're kind of a fiduciary-oriented financial planning advisor, which is sort of our wheelhouse, that will never be on that platform because there's no rev share.
Yes.
So true net payout.
Yes.
Do you touch upon that at all?
We do, yeah. And again, I think under the financial fit, one thing that I do with every advisor that I work with, and those that are listening, they're going to sort of laugh and be a little embarrassed. For financial advisors, I have so few of them that make spreadsheets of this as we're going through the due diligence process.
Really?
And so I do it. I have a guy on my team who builds my spreadsheets. He was like in the top 100 in the world in the Excel competition. He's just incredible.
Wow.
And so we will go through and compare, 3-4 options, whatever it is, and the true net payout.
Yeah, that's good.
And that's how we determine the financial fit. Now, sometimes business structure fit and vibes can override that, right? Because we can decide we're fine with paying more because those other pieces make so much sense. But yes, that has to be a part of the process. And for financial advisors, there's not a lot of financial due diligence in this process. So that's important to me.
What is the expression, the cobbler's kids have no shoes or something like this?
It's how we know financial advisors also don't have a succession plan, even though you would never allow that for your clients. So
exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so we're coming up on time. I want to touch upon one other thing as far as what should advisors look out for when signing on the dotted line. And we were talking about some clauses that are pretty ugly and talk about not having a succession plan. or not doing your spreadsheet,
Yep.
how about reading your affiliation agreement?
This is
What should they look out for?
This is another silly one, and I have a doodle. It's not in the book, but I have a doodle about like a big contract, and it's like, here's all the contract, and here's how much of it an advisor reads, and it's two little lines of it. I just had an advisor join an OSJ, and the OSJ has their own contract for him to join and use their brand. It was 30 pages long, Chuck.
Sure.
And so I looked at the advisor, and I'm like, you didn't read a word of this, huh? And he was like, nope. I was
did
like,
not.
okay. So I read it. I put it through ChatGPT because I also don't want to read every word of it or want to make
Yep.
sure that I have somebody else looking at it. And Chat actually does a really good job, or
amazing.
Gemini, right, of picking out some of the things that you might be concerned about in a contract. So, for him, there was a fee if he left within 3 years. He had to pay a certain amount back to the firm, so we made sure he was okay with that. He had to use their IMO, and there were costs associated with that were important. So I think reading the contract is critical.
Yeah.
He was fine with it. All of the things that were in it, he signed and he felt good about. We talked through if he was going to leave within 3 years, something had gone wrong anyway, and so it didn't matter. They had all the insurance products that he needed on their IMO. So there's lots of contracts that you might sign and feel good about, even if they have some of these restrictive things in there. But I am seeing more of the non-competes, non-solicits, which I'm in California, and so these are not really enforceable,
Right.
but non-accepts as well, which I think advisors miss.
Let's end on that note, because I think that's worth sharing with the audience.
Yes, yeah. So non-accept contracts would mean that if you leave and a client contacts you, you cannot accept working with them.
But how's that different from a non-solicit or non-compete?
Yeah, and
non-solicit I see, but how's it different from a non-compete?
Non-solicit, you can't reach out
Right.
to the client.
But how's it different from a non-compete?
Right. Non-compete is squishy, right? But it's the same kind of concept, right? You're not supposed to be doing anything that would make a client come work with you versus the firm that owns them that you were with. The non-accept is like, you've done nothing. The client of their own free will comes to you because they liked you and say, Chuck, can I keep working with you?
Yeah.
And you have to say no, or you have to pay the firm a multiple for whatever that client is worth.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, interesting. So all good things that one needs to know.
Yes, all good
right.
things to know.
I think that's a good place to put a pin in it for today.
Yeah.
To be continued, I think, because I want to do a deeper dive onto some of those other ones as well.
We have so much to help advisors with, Chuck.
Sounds good. Alanah Phillips, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And that book again for the audience is?
Breaking Up with Your Broker-Dealer.
Fantastic. Okay, so that's it for this segment. We have 4 more to go. And as Alanah said, up next we have Shannon Spotwood. You're not going to want to miss that. We'll see you in about 35, 40 minutes. Thanks for joining us, and Alanah, thanks again.
Thank you.
Okay.